Morning, everyone. How you doing? I committed a big faux pas this morning. I paused the Mole Man song. I know what happens when I pause the Mole Man song. The mole men come out to punish me for it. I'm going to have holes burrowing in front of my house any moment here. Uh, how's everyone doing? It's the weekend, my friends. Welcome to the stream. One thing before we get started, and I'm going to have to mention this a few times today, I feel, because even I'm probably going to forget about it. Here in the United States, daylight saving time ends tonight, overnight. And what that means is our clocks go back an hour during the nighttime when everyone's asleep. Okay? So that means that tomorrow, starting tomorrow, which would be the 7th of November, today's the 6th of November, 2021, by the way. So starting tomorrow, the 7th of November, all of my streams will start an hour later. All right? And all of my streams will end an hour earlier. So that means only like 1 hour of gameplay a day. I'm just kidding. The streams will start an hour later and end an hour later. Same length of the streams. I'm not cutting down the length of the streams or anything like that. But they will start later. Okay? Why? You got me. No one can seem to understand or explain it anymore. Besides the fact that daylight saving time at one point was a way to just do that. Save daylight. Make it so that farmers could have more time to farm. Make it so that you could cut down on energy use, like electricity for lighting. And now, scientifically, it's been proven that none of those things happen anymore. Like, it's literally a complete waste of everyone's time to do it. But we still do it. And here in Washington State, our government voted 2 years ago to get rid of it completely and just keep it one way or the other. But was told by the federal government, oh, well, you could keep it one way but not the other permanently. And you voted to do it the other. So we have to, like, make an exception for you. And they just don't care. They just sat on it and the federal government never approved it. So even though we don't want to do daylight saving time here, we're stuck doing it anyway. Isn't that nice? You know, I don't understand why like our government doesn't just come out and say, we don't care if we have federal approval, we're not doing it. So everyone as of today, just don't change your clocks ever again. And just remember, in Washington, we don't change our clocks because we're smarter than the federal government. We're not stupid. And then we would just be fine. But instead, they're like a bunch of pussies and they don't want to do it. So anyway, yeah, tomorrow I'll be here an hour later, which is interesting because tomorrow I'm starting a new game, Guardians of the Galaxy. Obviously, I want people not to miss it. So in reality, I'm actually glad that we're going forward an hour, or excuse me, we're going back an hour rather than forward. Because I think when you spring forward and you lose an hour, a lot of people miss the first hour of the stream. As opposed to, if I'm rolling back, okay, some people might be early, but at least you're not missing the content of the stream. You see what I'm saying? Okay. Anyway. So all that being said, my friends, it is the weekend. I'm excited. We have 4 more streaming days, including today. And today is Horror Day. All right? What that means is that what we're trying to do today is wrap up the horror-themed games that we've been playing for the past week to 2 weeks and basically get ready for fresh, new gaming content starting tomorrow. Because starting tomorrow, we got new release after new release after new release. Like, literally every day moving forward now, it's new release content, which is people have been wanted for a long time. I'm happy to give this to you guys because the month of October was underwhelming, admittedly. There wasn't a lot of great new release stuff there. It was mostly rehashes, remasters, etc. And I'm happy to now finally be moving on from that and doing actually new content that you guys are excited for. Although, I have an update regarding the GTA stuff. So listen up, because on this pre-stream, I'm going to talk about how I'm covering GTA this week, which looks like it may actually be different than what I originally intended, but it may not necessarily be bad news. Okay? Okay. Refreshing seltzer. So let's talk. Today is Saturday. This is the 6th of November. And today we're wrapping up the horror-themed games I've been playing. We're starting off with Visage. This game is shockingly good. Actually, the game that probably has scared me the most in the last 5 years that I've played video games. Like, seriously, like, I feel like this game, even though I've been desensitized to horror and horror-themed games, this game has creeped me out with its visuals, its sound effects, even the psychological horror aspect of it. It's pretty good. I'm very much enjoying the game, and today is probably the finale. I can't imagine us not finishing it. We're currently in the 3rd of the 3 ghost stories in it, and we're already, I'd argue, probably about halfway through it because we've solved a lot of the puzzles, and I have items that I know where to go for these next few puzzles. I don't know what they're going to lead to, but we're getting there. Now, the thing is, I don't know how many people will be here and if people who've played this game before are here today, but I was told early on this game has a fun secret ending if you find all of the videotapes, but I don't know how to get the videotapes. Like, I have no idea how to do that. I'd like to do that. I'd like to get the videotapes and see the secret ending, but I don't know if that means that I would basically be, like, spending insane amounts of extra time to do it. You know what I'm saying? Like, if it's, an extra half hour to an hour today, we go and find the tapes and we see the secret ending because people will help me find them, great. But if it's like, you beat the game, the main story, and now you're going in circles looking for tapes or whatever, I don't know. Now, Lipsian says it's not a secret ending, it's the actual ending. Well, Lipsian, since you seem to know your stuff about this, I may be leaning heavily on you today to help me out to try to do this, because I want to see the ending. I really, really like the game. And so I definitely want to see the ending, but I don't know how time-consuming it is to get these tapes, okay? So I hope you can help me out, all right? We'll see. Anyway, one way or another, it looks like Visage will likely end today, if not one more quick stream, but I think we're ending it today. I don't think there's another 3 hours of content in this third ghost story, okay? Later tonight, the late stream is the probable conclusion of House of Ashes. Now, this is my second run in House of Ashes. This is where I'm attempting to keep everyone alive. I was doing a good job of that until the very, 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 very tail end of the last stream. And I was kind of upset. Admittedly, I lost my shit a little bit. Because here we are at the tail end of the last stream, and I'm trying to find a logical stopping point, a place where we can, adjourn and resume at a good spot next time. And the game is just giving me action sequence, action sequence, action sequence. And I'm like, just give me the break where you can control the character, and you're like, okay, now it's, a logical break. The game wouldn't give it to me. It literally kept throwing 100 action sequences at me, okay? In the final action sequence of that stream, there was a quick time event that I know I fucking pressed the button, and the game claims I either didn't press it on time or I didn't press it at all, and it resulted in one of the characters being infected. Now, previously, in the first run, that character had been infected, and it led to them ended up basically killing themselves off because they were basically worried about the safety of everyone else. Now, this time around, maybe we could do it differently, even though this person's infected. I don't know. I just hope I didn't ruin the run, because the whole point of the second run was to try to keep everyone alive. If a character dies, it's kind of a waste. At the very same time, I'm not doing a third run. Just telling you guys, no fucking way am I doing a third run of this game. We got new content right around the corner that I'm going to be focusing on. So tonight is kind of like the do or die, right? We got to do it. We got to try to keep everyone alive, do our best, see what happens, all right? So I think people are going to, just on that alone, they're going to attend tonight's late stream at 6:45 p.m. Pacific time, because they want to see if I can actually pull that off or not, right? Okay. So, if everything goes according to plan today, conclusion of Visage, conclusion of House of Ashes second run, and all the horror games are wrapped up. If they're not, well, I do have a stream on Monday night that I'm kind of saving just in case something doesn't wrap up today and I need extra time. So if one of these things I'm not able to finish today, we could do a second stream on Monday night and finish it up. So either way, we're finishing this stuff up in the next couple of days, but hopefully today. Okay? Okay. Tomorrow, Sunday, as I've already stated, daylight saving time ends here in the United States. My stream will start 1 hour later, but we'll run 1 hour later tomorrow. What am I playing tomorrow? Tomorrow, we're going to go back and do a second run in Alan Wake Remastered, because you guys loved the game so much and thought it was so much fun. We're going to replay the whole game. No, we're not doing that. We're doing Guardians of the Galaxy, the shockingly good game that everyone thought was going to suck ass based on what they showed of it before it released. And then it actually released, and apparently it was really effing good. So, thanks to a particular fan who donated PlayStation Network credits to me this week, I was able to get it. It's preloaded on my PS5 and ready to go. So starting tomorrow, Sunday, it's the premiere of Guardians of the Galaxy. We're going to see how it goes. I hope it's good. I hope people haven't been overhyping the game for no reason. I can't imagine why they would, though, because, literally no one was hyping this game, and then everyone got it as review copies and were like, oh my god, it's good. So then people started buying it, and they were like, oh my god, it's good. So I don't think it's bullshit. I think maybe it is a shockingly good game. Okay? We'll see. Starting tomorrow. I'm excited for that, and I hope you guys will join. I mean, you guys all week were bugging me that I didn't play it, so I hope you'll come join me tomorrow for the premiere. Sunday night, the continuation of Lost Judgment. We're in the midst of a bunch of clubs. We got Boxing Club, we got Robotics Club, and now we're unlocking the Biker Club. So we can mess around with some of those clubs and see what happens, or we could do story. I don't know what we'll do, but it'll be a chill time no matter what on Sunday night. Monday will be more Guardians of the Galaxy on the main gameplay stream. And then Monday night, like I said, if we need the time, we could do more Visage or we could do more House of Ashes or whatever. I'm not sure what Monday night will be. If not, if we don't need the time, we could do whatever. Like, we could do a one-off stream of something. We could go to YouTuber's Life 2 and mess around with that, which we haven't played with in several weeks. You know, mess around with it and see what it is. Something like that. We'll see. Okay? Then, on Tuesday, big new release. Ladies and gentlemen, the best reviewed game of 2021, Forza Horizon 5, releases on Xbox Game Pass on Tuesday, so I'll be playing it. I'm very excited for this. As you know, I really liked the last two Forza Horizon games. This one apparently is the best one ever made. 3 years in development, apparently amazing, groundbreaking visuals for a console, plus insane amounts of fun gameplay content all over the place. I'm very excited to start up Forza Horizon with all of you on Tuesday, okay? Should be fun. Then Tuesday night, the final stream of the consecutive streaming week for me, more Lost Judgment, okay? So on Wednesday, I am off from streaming. Now, Thursday, all right, allow me to explain in a nutshell what's going on with me, because I did the other day. I just want you guys to understand. Right now, I'm absolutely, just hit my table with my ring. I'm absolutely strapped for cash right now, all right? That's why, in order to play Guardians, I need someone to donate some credits for me to play it, all right? I have to raise, every dollar I'm raising on streams right now is going to bills. Every single dollar is going to these two giant bills that I have to pay around Wednesday-ish. Okay, plus Wednesday's my day off, and I need money to spend on my day off for groceries and other things. So the thing is, right now, I'm completely and utterly strapped. I just don't have any money to spend on anything. All right? Now, my original plan for Thursday was that I wanted to play, well, first of all, just so you guys know, the Grand Theft Auto Definitive Trilogy comes out on Thursday. Okay? Big release. Obviously, one of the biggest releases of this whole gaming season is that this trilogy, people are super excited for it. But it's kind of weird. Allow me to explain why it's kind of weird. All right? Less than a week until the release of this trilogy now. Less than a week. And we have yet to see any actual real gameplay footage anywhere. No one has gotten an early release copy and been able to review it. And Rockstar has not said a single word about the soundtrack. Yeah. So, that being said, it's kind of suspect, don't you think? Wouldn't it, if these games, let's be honest here, if these games were performing very well, if these games had the full soundtracks intact from the original games, wouldn't you think Rockstar would be, like, touting that? Advertising that? Don't you think? Isn't it a little weird that we're less than a week away, no one's played these games, no one has footage of them, and we have absolutely no idea what's in these games, what's intact and what's not? It seems to me something's going on. Maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm off base here, but you got to think big picture. And big picture, this sounds weird to me. First of all, it's weird to me that they were announced out of nowhere the way that they were. How is there no build-up and no hype for these trilogies, right? It's also very weird to me that they removed all the previous versions of these trilogies digitally from any marketplace, so you can't buy them anymore. Why? Because they don't want people to know that another version may actually be more authentic than these. I'm just saying, like, it seems to me that there may be definitive differences that people might actually be a little bit disappointed. All right? Maybe I'm wrong. Okay? Maybe I'm wrong. But I guess we'll see what happens come this Thursday. Now, here's the thing. And I found out about this morning, and this really upset me. I'm incredibly upset. I want you guys to understand something. I'm very upset. All right? You ready for this? You ready to listen up, everyone? Everyone, stop what you're doing. I know some people listen to this it really is a podcast, my pre-stream. They listen to this pre-stream or podcast, and they're not paying it. Actively put down what you're doing. If you're cooking, turn off the stove. If you're shitting, flush the toilet, pull up your pants. Don't wipe. Just pull up your pants. Get ready. Because listen to what I found out this morning. All right? There's 3 games in this remastered trilogy. Okay? GTA 3, Vice City, San Andreas. Oh, no. Someone pulled up their pants and had a turd still in there. It's disgusting. But anyway, so there's 3 games in this collection. All right? However, Rockstar is not selling the games separately at all. That's right. The only way you can get the Grand Theft Auto Remastered Trilogy or Definitive Edition Trilogy is by buying the entire trilogy together for $60. All right? Now you might say, well, what's the problem with that? Well, I'll tell you what the problem with that is. You can get one of the games for free depending on what console you own. So, for example, if you own an Xbox Series S or X or PC and you have Game Pass, San Andreas is free. You get it under Game Pass this Thursday. It comes out. It's free. If you're a PlayStation player, well, if you have PS Now, which not a lot of PlayStation players have PS Now. Don't tell anyone, but it's nowhere near as popular as Game Pass. But anyway, if you have PS Now, Grand Theft Auto 3 will be free for PS Now as of next month. So we still got a ways to wait for that. But the point I'm making is you get a game for free. Even if you're not going to buy the trilogy, you get a game for free. But if you want all the games, you're literally forced to buy the trilogy, which means you're rebuying one of those games and giving Rockstar money that they really aren't owed. You understand what I'm saying? You can't just buy GTA 3 right now and load it on a console or your PC. It's not possible. You can't just buy, oh, I just want San Andreas on my PS5. You can't do that. Now, how stupid is that? They're 3 completely separate games. They are. They're not fucking, one game on one collect. No, they're separate downloads. They're not even like, oh, it's the same menu and you boot them all from the same app. They're different downloads. Actually, 3 separate downloads. You buy the collection, you only download the games you want to play. So, it's actually a scam. It is. It's basically Rockstar is forcing you into buying all 3, even if you don't want all 3. What if your favorite GTA game of all time is San Andreas? That's the only one you care about, and it's the only one you want to play. You have to pay $60 to get the trilogy and just play San Andreas out of the trilogy. That's fucked up. That's really fucked up. Now, why am I bringing this up? I'm bringing this up because right now, as I told you guys, I'm strapped. I don't have any tips that I'm raising are going to bills. All right? As of today, I don't have, the only credits that I received were for PlayStation Network so I could get Guardians of the Galaxy. I don't have any credits to get the GTA trilogy on Xbox Live right now. I just don't. No one gifted anything or anything like that yet. I'm not saying that won't happen. I'm just saying right now, that's the situation I'm in. So, I'm looking at it and I'm like, oh, well, all I want is GTA 3. So that's cool. Maybe, it's only $20. No. You have to buy the whole trilogy in order to get GTA 3. Because the way I was going to do it, I was going to play them in logical order. I was going to start with GTA 3 on Thursday. When I beat GTA 3 in a couple weeks, I was going to consider doing Vice City and then San Andreas. Now, I wasn't saying back to back to back I was going to play them. I might have given a little bit of break between them. Maybe not. Really depends on what you guys want. It really is up to you. If you guys are really enjoying the games or whatever, then, I would consider... Oh, by the way, Ansu Kamaru, you're completely wrong. Ansu Kamaru says, oh, but it's a collection. No one complains when other companies do this. No one complained when Nintendo did this with 3D All-Stars. First of all, yes, people did. And 3D All-Stars actually is the same app that runs those games. 3D All-Stars, you boot the game from the same application. You boot the one application, there's a menu selection, and you boot your game. This is not. These are 3 separate downloads. They're literally made to be 3 separate games, but you're forced to buy them all in a bundle, even though that's not, logically doesn't make sense. So, that being said, okay, my original plan was, oh, I'm just going to get GTA 3. It'll be like $20. I hopefully should be able to afford that, or maybe get maybe $20 in Xbox Live credit by Thursday, get the game and play it, and then move on. Hopefully by the time I beat it and you got Vice City and all other games, I'll be fine. I'll be better off financially. But now, I'm looking at this situation, and I'm like, man, I don't think I can do it. First of all, dropping $60 on a collection that you don't know if the collection's actually going to be good, right? That's number one. We haven't seen gameplay. We haven't heard about the music. No one's gotten a copy of this yet. And it's not even a week away. So it's obvious something's up, right? So dropping $60 on this collection when you don't know if it's good or not is kind of questionable. In addition, I don't have $60 to spend. Again, if someone can donate some Xbox Live credits, I would really appreciate that. You can always email me at darksidephil@hotmail.com with a code for Xbox Live credits so I can get it if you want me to do it that way. I would appreciate that. That would help me tremendously. But if I don't get anything between now and Thursday, then I have to pay for it. I don't want to drop $60 on a collection that we don't even know what it is. Now, all right? In addition to that, I'm getting San Andreas for free as part of my Xbox Game Pass. You see, I'm already getting it. So I don't want to rebuy it either. So what I'm thinking is, unless something changes between now and Thursday, all right, what I'm thinking I'm going to do is I'm just going to play San Andreas first. Now, for some people, that's great news, and for other people, they'll be very disappointed. San Andreas is many people's favorite GTA game of all time. It is not mine, but I still like the game. The thing is, by taking a look at the file sizes of these three games, because again, as I told you, they're three separate downloads. They're three separate downloads, okay? By taking a look at the file sizes of these games, San Andreas, all right, is huge. Huge file size, all right? Then Vice City's half as big as San Andreas, and then GTA 3 is a very small file size. So what people are surmising is that San Andreas had a ton of work done to it, where they did a lot of new textures, new graphics, everything redone from the ground up, while Vice City had some of that, but not all of it, and basically GTA 3 had the least amount of work done because it's such a small file size, you see? So maybe it makes more sense to actually start with what will arguably be the best game in this remastered definitive trilogy anyway. Maybe it makes more sense to do that. Why play the worst one first, right? The thing is, the mentality that I was going in with was the following, okay? Yes. The mentality that I was going in with was the following, okay? Start from the beginning and go through and see the evolution of the series. In addition to that, when you look at the three original GTA games, okay, Grand Theft Auto 3 was by far the most outdated and needed the most modernizations. Grand Theft Auto 3 was the one where every time you fail a mission, you have to drive across the entire fucking map to restart the mission again from scratch. The game has no auto-saving. You always have to manually save at a garage. It has very outdated driving and gameplay mechanics when it comes to the gunplay. It's just a very frustrating game in that regard. Full of bugs, too. Like, I remember the game is just outright full of bugs and frustrating stuff. Now, with all these new additions that they put into the definitive trilogy, like auto restarting a mission if you fail it, right? Things like that. These quality of life improvements would probably make GTA 3 a much more enjoyable game for the modern era and modern audiences. So that's why I was thinking, start with GTA 3. It needs the improvements the most out of all the games. But now there's all these factors going against it, like the smallest file size, which means they basically did the least amount of work on it. By the way, you have to pay $60 to play it when really it shouldn't be. It should be $20 per game. And by the way, San Andreas is free on launch day. Okay? Yeah, so basically the way I see it is, unless something changes, unless, I get some donated Xbox Live credits between now and Thursday, I think on Thursday we're going to start San Andreas. Okay? And we're going to see firsthand how exactly good it is. You know, it's kind of worrying that here we are only not even a week away, and we have no information about these games, not even real gameplay or nothing. I don't know, man. I guess we're going to see. We're going to see what happens, but San Andreas will likely be the game that we start playing on Thursday, unless things change. Again, things could change. If you want to help out right now, the 2 credits that I absolutely need right now help with. Number 1, Xbox Live for the GTA collection on Thursday. And number 2, Nintendo, because I'm going to be getting Pokemon later this month, and people also want me to play Metroid Dread, and I need some Nintendo Online credits for that. Okay? So if you want to help me with that, email me darksidefilled@hotmail.com, and you know, whatever code you could send is greatly appreciated. All right? I had a couple people who said, oh, they're looking into it, and I never heard back from them. So, that would be great. That would be absolutely great. So, we'll see what happens. But, yeah, so, to recap. Today, horror games conclude, hopefully, Visage and House of Ashes. Sunday, first of all, daylight saving time ends, so my streams start and end an hour later. Guardians of the Galaxy premieres, and we paired that with Lost Judgment. Monday, more Guardians of the Galaxy, and that will be paired with whatever, because we don't know yet. We may need extra time for the horror games. If not, then it'll probably be like maybe something random, like YouTuber's Life 2 will actually play a stream of that or something at night, right? And then on Tuesday, the premiere of Forza Horizon 5, paired with Lost Judgment. Wednesday, I'm off. When I come back on Thursday, it's the premiere of San Andreas. Okay? And then what we're going to do is we're going to balance. It's going to be San Andreas likely for a couple of days. All right? And then balance that with Guardians. And then the night streams will probably be Lost Judgment and Forza. Okay? That'll be the balance for now. And we may readjust that on the fly during the course of the month. Of course, the week after that, we've got the release of Pokemon. There's also the beta for King of Fighters 15, as well as apparently a 10-day advanced look at, a 10-hour advanced look at Battlefield 2042, where you can play the game for 10 hours before it releases if you're under Game Pass, under EA Play, to see if you like the game or not. So there's a lot of stuff going on this month. It should be pretty good. So I hope you guys will join me for all of this coming up. It's going to be an exciting week for sure. Now that we're starting all these new games and new content, it should be a good time. Okay? So outside of all of that, there really is no game news to talk about today. I've been trying to follow along any new game news or game, but nothing really. It's kind of a dead day for game news. A few odds and ends here. First of all, as you guys know, we're in the middle of November. I say middle even though we're not even a week in. We have a members goal for the month of 300 members. We absolutely can hit this members goal. We were at 290 2 months ago. All right? I'm hoping that once I start with all these nonstop new releases, Guardians of the Galaxy, Forza, the GTA Trilogy, Battlefield, etc., it will reinvigorate people to want to become channel members. Right now, I know there's people who are in this stream every day who like the channel but have not become a channel member yet. I urge you to do so. You get many benefits to becoming a channel member, including highlighted name in chat, not abiding by the slow mode rules so you can talk as much as you want, chat crown badge to show how long you've been a supporter, as well as emotes, right? Also, special abilities when it comes to monthly goals. For example, this monthly goal, if we hit 300 members, Christmas event is happening. What that means is that I'll be dressed up in holiday-themed attire for a marathon of gaming. I'll be drinking all day long. You guys will be able to nominate and vote on games that I'll play that day, and members exclusively will be able to pick a game for that event. Members get extra priority. Members also get extra priority for my Q&A show, Ask the King, which also will be happening in December. You'll have a strongly increased chance to get your question answered on the show. So there's a ton of different benefits to actually getting being a member. Please consider becoming a member. We have not had any membership growth in like 2 months, just being honest. So I think this month, hopefully we'll get some once the new games start hitting and people start attending the streams in droves. But we got to get to that point, okay? So thank you guys, and for those who are here every day, you know the benefits, right? You know the benefits of becoming a member, so I hope that you will consider it, okay? All right. I'm just trying to think if there's anything else I really want to cover before we get to shout-outs and the like. Not particularly. what I will say is thus. As you guys know, I'm an independent content creator. I don't have sponsorships, partnerships, or support from anywhere except the streams and you guys. Your crowdfunding is how I get to keep doing what I love for a living. Uh-oh. My internet, wow. My internet just dipped to 0 and then came right back. Did you guys, that's got to be a giant blip right there. You guys are definitely going to see some shit right there. Wow. It went down to 0 and then it came right back. So I'm going to give it a second here to settle. That was bad. Damn. Okay, is it good now? It seems fine now. That was weird. A weird blip in the lines. There was a gremlin in the lines. It's good now? Okay, now I can continue. I didn't want to continue until it worked again. Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm an independent content creator, which means I don't have any sponsorships or partnerships or support from anyone but the crowdfunding that I get on my live streams. I appreciate the fact that you guys have liked the style of content that I've put out for 13 years, enough that every day you come to the streams and you support them. Thank you in advance to anyone who will support the stream in any way. There are many ways that you can support the stream. We've already talked about becoming a channel member. You can also do a super chat or a super sticker. These are ways to support the channel through YouTube itself. If you do those, basically it helps my channel long term, and you get a cool highlighted message as a way of saying thanks right now for supporting the channel. Also, you can tip me, and right now, in the short term, I really need help with tips over the next 4 days to pay these bills that are all coming due around Wednesday-ish, okay? Why? Are tips better than everything else? Because I get a tip right away, so I can put it towards these bills coming up, and I get more of a cut of a tip than any other type of contribution. And what I mean by that is, no matter what you do when you send a content creator any kind of a contribution, there's a middleman who takes a cut, okay? No buns about it here. There's definitely people who want to get their cut of any kind of an online transaction. But when you tip me, I keep more of that, all right, than any other kind of contribution that you send my way. So if you want to help me out the most, it makes sense. Contribute the way where I get the most and the way that I get it right away, right? So please tip me if you can today. You can tip either by typing exclamation point tip into the stream chat or just looking at the description of the stream, all right? Excuse me. Oh, some phlegm in my throat. Sorry. Now, since tips are so important, we have reward tiers in effect for tips. If we raise $50 in tips, I'll put on my Gunner glasses. If we raise $100 in tips, I'll put on a hat. Now, today, I will be wearing the headphones for Visage. So the hats available are ones that I can wear with the headphones, which is the camo, the digital, or the fake hair hat. You know, I just realized I could show these on stream now because I have a webcam on stream. So, the camo, the digital, and of course, the fake hair hat. There you go. Those are eligible at 100. Okay? Then, if we do raise the full tips goal for the stream, which is $150, I'll put on a vest of your choice. All vests are eligible today. Okay? We'll say the red, the platinum, the denim, the gold, all your most favorite vests are all eligible today. So any of you who contribute, you're contributing towards these awesome goals. Thank you in advance. And again, you know, goes to a very important thing. I need to pay these bills. I have an internet bill and my condo dues both due around Wednesday. Actually, I think the internet's due on Tuesday, and then the condo dues are going to be due on Wednesday. So anything you contribute helps me with that, and thank you in advance to anyone who contributes in any way. Okay? Thank you. Where's the military hat today? How exactly do I wear a military hat when I'm wearing headphones? How would I do that? Use your head. Okay. All right, so that's that. I think it is time to do shout-outs. Let's start on the YouTube side here. So, let's see here. Let me refresh. And we start off today with Mario Brothers, who has re-upped their membership for 3 months. Thank you so much, Mario Brothers, for the ongoing support. He says, Mole Man are coming for you. 3 months going strong. Whoa. No, actually, Jasper Kitty's coming for me. Oh, yes, Mole Man, and thank you very much, Mario Brothers, for upping your membership. I appreciate that. Douglas has done a $5 super chat and says, say my name. Okay, Douglas. Thank you for the super chat. I appreciate that. And then James did a super chat and says, favorite controller after using both for a year. If you're talking about the next-gen controllers, all right, I will answer that in just a second. Let me actually get you up. Would you get your face off of my seltzer water? He's trying to rub his face all over my seltzer water here. So, Jasper Kitty, you're a nut. So, let's talk. Let's have an honest discussion, since we have some time today on the pre-stream, about controllers. Next-gen console controllers, or I guess current-gen console controllers, right? All right. So, head-to-head. PlayStation 5 versus Xbox Series X controller. All right. There's pros and cons to both. Holding both, the Xbox Series X controller is less weighty. This controller is heavier. But keep in mind, this controller has a built-in wireless battery inside. This controller, you'd either have to provide AA batteries or your own rechargeable batteries. Personally, there's a rechargeable battery pack that I bought for it from, I think the company is called like Power A or something like that. And it's really good because it's a 2-pack. I think it was like 20 to 30 bucks. 2 batteries. You swap between them. They only take a few hours to charge each. And they last about day to 2 days of gaming each. So I only have to swap every couple days. And I get tons of gaming out of it. And I don't have to spend any additional money. The PlayStation 5 controller runs out within 1 day of gaming. The battery in this controller is not as good as if you use AA's or you buy a battery pack for this thing. But then again, there's no additional cost. It's in the controller. Okay? When it comes to the actual controls of the controller, I would say the face buttons are identical. Like the face buttons on the PS5 and the Xbox Series X controller are pretty much the same. They don't feel any much better or worse to me. Really, it's the triggers where things are different. On the PlayStation 5, you have adaptive triggers. And what that means is in certain games, you will hold down a trigger halfway, and you'll almost feel like a click, where it feels like, oh, I'm holding it halfway, and it'll have a different ability than if you click it all the way. One of the games in particular was Ratchet and Clank, where some of the guns had an alternate fire if you held it down halfway, but if you pulled it all the way, you'd get a full-on charge kind of a move that would be completely different. All right? So, the Xbox controller does not have that. However, when you look at the triggers of the two controllers, you can see they're completely designed differently. All right? I would say this controller, the PlayStation 5, is cool because it has the adaptive triggers, and if a game uses them, then they're great. But I actually like the feel of the triggers on the Xbox Series X controller better because they actually are a little bit more contoured to your finger, and they have a texture on top, which you probably can't see on my shitty webcam, but there's actually like little texture on it. So when you're holding it, you feel a good grip. When you're like doing stuff on this, you feel like you're shooting or whatever, you feel very secure. On this, it's actually very smooth. And it's funny because it's an adaptive trigger, yet sometimes it's hard to keep your finger on the trigger. I feel like it slips because it's smooth. I wish that they had put like a texture on there and they didn't do that. Okay? Looks-wise, I think that the PlayStation 5 controller looks better. It just looks sleeker. This looks more like an Xbox One controller. It almost looks identical, while this controller looks nicer. And it glows, by the way. It glows colors, which is nice. As for other features, keep in mind that the PlayStation 5 controller has a built-in speaker, so you can actually hear audio out of the PS5 controller for certain games, while that's not a feature of the Xbox controller. I personally hate that, so I never use it. Thumbstick placement, I find the off-put thumbstick placement of the Xbox controller to be smoother and more comfortable to me, while on the PlayStation, they're alongside each other. Honestly, I like the other one better. I'm just being honest, especially for first-person shooter games and stuff. I feel like this is a better layout for thumbsticks. But you could disagree, but I do feel that that's better. D-pad. Truthfully, this is something I can't speak to yet. Why? I haven't really used the D-pad much in any game. As you can see, they're completely different. You have 4 completely different directions on the PlayStation 5 controller, while you have a circular pad with indentations on the Xbox controller. If I had played a fighting game or something, maybe I would know better, but I haven't. So because of that, I can't really speak to the D-pads. All I know is they're both decent for whatever games you're using them as a secondary input, but I've never really used them as a primary input, so I can't really speak to that. Okay? Now, the one thing that everyone brings up when it comes to these controllers is the haptic feedback of the PS5 controller. I haven't played PS5 for about a year, and I can tell you, out of some of the games that I've played, the haptic feedback was significant, and others not so much. Out of all the games I played, Astro's Playroom was the best, but that's because the game was designed around haptic feedback. Like, that was the whole point of the game, was to be a demo for the haptic feedback. That game absolutely positively is amazing when it comes to haptic feedback. Bugsnax, of all games, Bugsnax, the launch title for PS5, uses the haptic feedback really well, in particular when there's a thunderstorm. You can really feel the rumble of the thunder and lightning in the haptic. You can actually feel the raindrops hitting the ground on your controller. And in addition to that, just using the items and things in the game, the controller actually uses them pretty well, I would say. There's other games that try to use it, and personally, I wasn't blown away. Like Demon's Souls, yeah, when you're using different weapons in Demon's Souls, it has a slight different feel of vibration when you're using them. But after a little while, you just don't even pay attention to it anymore. Same thing with Ratchet and Clank. Like, at first, when you start playing Ratchet and Clank, you start feeling, oh, every gun feels different. And then after a while, you just don't care anymore because you realize the game is just shooting a million things, and you completely forget that even haptic feedback exists. And I hate to say it, but that's likely about 90% of my experiences with haptic feedback on this controller. Is at first, the first hour of the game, oh, this is cool. And then after that, I just forget it's even there, and it doesn't really feel like it impacts the game in any way, shape, or form. Now, I've been playing on the Xbox Series X for almost 2 straight months now. Actually, more than 2 months, I think. Starting tomorrow, I'll actually be playing Guardians of the Galaxy on PS5. Will I see a significant difference with the haptic feedback? Because now I haven't used it in months. I guess we'll see. Firsthand, we'll see, but I guess we'll find out, We'll see together firsthand if there's any other benefit. But for me, the haptic feedback has kind of been an afterthought. And in fact, some of the first games to use it, like Call of Duty Black Ops 4, it was terrible. The haptic feedback was so bad, it was making me erroneously do things in the game that I didn't want to do, like doing constant melee attacks and stuff that I didn't intend. When I turned out the haptic feedback, it stopped. So some games don't even utilize it that well at all. All right. I would say they both have pros and cons right now. I like both controllers. If I had to choose right now, Phil, you're going to play a next-gen game right now, brand new game, which controller do you want? I would pick this one. This one feels better in my hands, has the textured grip, lighter, and I don't have to constantly be swapping batteries and or charging it. That's why I like this one better. Even though this one has adaptive triggers and haptic feedback, I don't feel like I'm getting enough out of that to warrant a heavier controller, not as great control on the triggers, like there's detriments to it. So for me, I personally like the Xbox controller better right now. Maybe that'll change in time, though. You see, we're currently only 1 year into this console generation, and the fact that a lot of these companies haven't really been specifically designing their games for these consoles yet leads me to believe that haptic feedback is going to basically have a lot more to it as we get further into the console gen. Right now, I don't think it's a major deal, but maybe later on. All right? But for now, I prefer the Xbox controller, just being honest. Super Scuba has upped his membership and says Jasper is an adorable cat. Thank you, Super Scuba. I agree with you. Lightly Salted Nuts did a super chat and says, shout out to Jasper Kitty. Thank you to Lightly Salted Nuts. Let's get you on the leaderboard here. And then we got another membership from James. Thank you, James. What I'd like to do is quickly take a look at how many memberships we have now. Because there were a few there, and I don't know if that affected the total number of memberships or not. I'd like to check. I can check it on the fly here on my laptop. So we're at 262. We went up a single membership because those were all re-memberships except for the one. So that makes sense. Okay, we're at 262. Let's do that. And then we will jump over to tips. So shout out to the first tipper of the day, Only Fear of Death, who tipped me $1.50 and asked the following, actually says the following. Hey, Phil, I've been a longtime fan since 2009. Here's to enjoying your content for many years to come. Keep doing your thing. Thank you to Only Fear of Death for the $1.50 tip. Then, we've got I'm on a Boat, who just tipped me $4.20. And that gets us up to $5 in tips. Oops, why did I just do that? Okay, so I'm on a boat with a $4.20 tip, the biggest tip of the day so far. Thank you very much for that. Okay. I hear police outside. I guess they're coming for me finally. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's what we've got for now. If anything else comes in, obviously, I'll give a shout out. By the way, I should mention this every stream now because it's very important that you do it. If you like my streams and my content, go right over to your whatever it is on your, if you're watching on a phone or on a laptop, mobile device, PC, whatever it may be. Smash the like button on the stream. Smash it right now. Do it like this. Go. Just like this. Go. As hard as you can. And then destroy it. Put your finger right to it. Boom! And these liquid crystal pixels squirting everywhere. Do it. Smash it. Again, it doesn't affect anything. It really doesn't help me at all, to my knowledge, because the way I do streaming is very different from what other people do. Most people who live stream archive that stream raw, and then people can go watch it back later. I don't do that. For ease of viewing, I separate my streams into digestible clumps. So the pre-stream is one video. The gameplay is separated into hour clumps. So once the stream is done and it's offline, it's hidden and no one can access the raw stream. Instead, you just watch the digestible clumps later. So if you like this, if this stream got liked 1,000,000 times, it wouldn't matter because once it's offline, no one can ever watch it again anyway. So that's why you ever notice I don't talk about that stuff. I don't ask for likes and stuff. That's why, if anything, if you're watching this pre-stream later on demand on DSP Gaming, you're watching the video on demand, then please click the like. That will probably help it. I don't care about the live stream, but if you're watching this on demand later on, by all means click the like. That will help the video, okay? It's pretty funny. Okay. Anything else? Any final questions or anything, guys, before we go on break? Because as you know, before we go on break, well, when we go on break, I use the restroom. You guys get an opportunity to grab a drink or a snack, use the restrooms yourself before we jump into gameplay. So does anyone have anything else they want to talk about? Any questions before we jump in? God says, I wish you would enable likes and dislikes on the streams themselves. They are enabled. You just can't see it. They are enabled. You can like this stream, Guts. You absolutely can like this stream. But the thing is, I disabled the viewability because, sadly, when people see the ability to do something negative, they do it. So they say, oh, I can dislike. Oh, dislike. Ah. And then all you'll get on the stream, why are there so many dislikes on this stream, man? Because people are just negative and want to come over here and be fucking stupid. You see? That's why. They are on. There actually is absolutely no way to disable likes or dislikes on YouTube. You can't. But you can disable the viewability of them. The visibility of them, I should say. Okay. How is my day going? So far, so good. Had a coffee and a everything bagel cream cheese for breakfast. Jasper got a nice treat this morning before Kat went to work. A broth, fish broth. I don't know what was in it. We got him a bunch of these broth treats. He gets one a day in the morning, like a breakfast treat. And it was like some chunks of fish with this broth. He loves licking the broth up. And then he has fishy breath. Hoy, Gorilla Pimp, thanks for sharing everything that you're doing. You're saying you're doing weed, cigs, black mild, alcohol. Now he claims he's doing cocaine and LSD, Xanax. What the fuck are you saying? Yikes. Okay. All right. Anything else, or should we go on break? So, by the way, Visage, I'm excited for this. I want to see how it ends. We're in the middle of the final chapter, the Dolores chapter, and I have 2 items that I can now use to do further puzzles. I have a crowbar that I can open a window with and get this compass that's outside, and then there's the other. I have a knife. I think I have to stab a body with a knife, and then something happens. I don't know what happens, but I think I get another item. So there's like 2 more items I can get, and then those will probably lead to the solving of other puzzles. And we just keep going until all the puzzles are solved and we finish the Dolores chapter. I don't know how it ends. And then what I'm hoping is either Ellipsian or other people will help me to get all this videotape so we can get the true ending of the game. Because I want to see the true ending of the game. I really like the game, but I get the feeling it's going to be very scary. So. Okay, are we good? Okay, I guess we will, let's take the break. I'll be back in a few minutes. Everyone, again, grab a drink or a snack or use the restroom yourselves, and I'll be back with the conclusion of Visage in just a few. Sound good? Awesome.